He's getting old. He can't jump as far no more.
Then he jumped through the table and he missed again this year. Quit jumping through tables in the main show. It costs you matches.
Go watch your tape.
Right. It was just really good. I feel like you could put AJ in the ring with a broom, and he could work a good match out of a broom.
Well, you gotta give Shane credit too, because
Shane's no slouch in the ring.
No, Shane, even though he has no wrestling techniques or anything, but for this being a traditional wrestling match, it was quite surprising to see Shane actually wrestle.
Yeah, I was surprised. So, moving on to the next match.
But the thing Styles was boasting about this whole time through SmackDown was that, I have Shane McMahon in a traditional wrestling match. Traditional, which means you get counted out. You have to win by pinfall and submission. You can't use weapons. And to our knowledge, and to AJ's knowledge, someone might correct us, Shane has not been in a match like that.
Yeah, most of his matches have been no DQ.
But with him coming in and actually giving AJ a fight in a wrestling match, that was good to see for Shane and for AJ actually winning the match. But the thing that gets me, because AJ's the heel in this match, is that here he is boasting about he is going to run circles around Shane, he's going to out-wrestle him, yada, yada, yada. And then what does AJ do? He's the one that introduces the trash cans.
Yeah.
And it's like, what, you can't beat Shane fairly? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
He just needs that little bit extra win. AJ plays that heel character so well.
He does.
Next is Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, United States Champion. Owens won. I'm okay with it because it brought finality to it, and Jericho, I believe his contract is at the point where it's running out, and he's fixing to do a small, like 10 week tour of Fozzy. So you need to take that belt off of him, because people like me remember when it was the most prestigious WCW title.
Which you might not agree with me, but thanks to John Cena with his United States Open Challenge every week on Raw, he kind of brought that prestige back up for that title. Then he dropped it to...
Did he drop it to Owens?
This is the first time Owens had the belt. He dropped it to someone, and then it kind of...
Faded off
again.
Horribly.
And then...
Jericho got it. And
before Jericho, who did...
Reigns.
Yeah, Reigns had it, but with Reigns being how he is, you might not agree with this. It still brought that prestigious level up again. And then Jericho comes, unfairly wins the United States Championship, but with Chris Jericho being attached to the United States Championship, it then brings the prestigious back to the United States.
If you're going to bring it back, you need to have it open and defended, and that's what made Cena's run so great with it. Jericho's had it for 6 weeks. Can you nail me one person he's defended it against?
Roman Reigns rematch.
Got me. Okay. Other than that, can you give me another match? No. See, that's kind of been my issue with it. Is Chris has had it, and at one point I said, I'd forgotten Chris had that belt. Because Sami Zayn beat him on an episode of Raw. That's an issue for me, is you cannot have a title on a guy who loses on a consistent basis, and Jericho is realizing, I think he's at the back end of his career, and he is losing matches to people to kind of put him over. The next guy. That's how it felt to me in this match, is it brings an end to it, but not in such a finality that when Jericho comes back, because everybody knows he's coming. He has said that he doesn't want this to be his last run. So when he comes back after his tour, they can pick it back up or they can leave it alone.
Well, with Kevin having the title now, winning the title cleanly, I might add, in this match, the first time I ever seen Kevin win a match or a title match cleanly.
There was the Owens, the Sami Zayn one,
well,
when he powerbombed Sami Zayn and
so many
dislocated
times,
his shoulder.
and, but
that one.
And on the main roster,
that's true.
Actually, winning cleanly in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. With that's
after he powerbombed him on the apron.
Well,
that was a pretty cool spot.
Well, but that's his thing.
I know, that's why it was a pretty cool spot.
And with Kevin having the title now, winning cleanly now, because you want to have the United States title, aka the United States, not look like you're trying to win dirty all the time, or dirty at all, which made Cena's run so good again, because he won cleanly every time. Now with Kevin winning cleanly this time, is he going to keep on doing that with more matches on Raw, or is he going to go back to his heel stuff and win in questionable matches?
I think it all depends on what do we see tomorrow night, and so I'm going to put off and wait and see what we see tomorrow night, because there's rumors of heel faction with him in it, him and Joe, Triple H leading it, a couple other mystery people rumored to be Finn Balor and Big E and Big Cass, so it could be an interesting heel faction there. Just some rumors I've heard around different places, read them. Seems like they could be interesting to see, but I think I'm gonna wait and see. I like the heel. If you're gonna be a heel, win like a heel, lose like a heel type deal. So I'm good with that.
Well, the thing is with me in championship matches, I told you this on numerous occasions. I've been telling you this for years.
That you didn't grow up watching it in the 80s.
But it's still a championship match. Championship matches, you need to win it without any outside interference. That's the only thing I have a problem with. You can do if the refs back is turned and you low blow him or something, that's a different thing for a heel to do. But if you have, like what the Miz has been doing with Maurice, having Maurice actually win the title for you, then to win the title, that's not cool for a title match. The title matches should be uninterfered with.
Again, you didn't grow up watching the Four Horsemen. As I throw up the Four Horsemen 4, you didn't grow up watching that like I did, where Sting wins the #1 contendership and immediately gets beaten out of the Four Horsemen and injured, so he can't compete in a match later that night. That's what I grew up watching in WCW. I'm okay with it.
I'm not.
So the next match was Bayley, Nia Jax, Charlotte, and Sasha. And I love how they all ganged up until Nia Jax is gone. I love how you take out the most threatful first, and then Charlotte goes, "Way to go, girls!" Throws up a high five. They both turn, look at each other, look at her, and she drops out of the ring in a perfect heel move and say, "You two fight." And they fought really well. Charlotte came in, I felt like picked up the pieces a little bit to put out Sasha.
Which it was okay. I would have rather had Sasha versus Bayley in the finals, but
I think you set up though. Let's talk about the ending, and then we can talk about where they're going to go. Ending. Charlotte exposes the turnbuckle, throws Sasha into it, pins her 1, 2, 3. Comes back. She gets Bayley in a tree of woe, which is, for those of you who don't know, you get draped over the top turnbuckle with your ropes, with your legs hanging, tied up there. Goes to spear, look like. Bayley pulls herself up. Charlotte hit her head on the middle rope. Gets herself untangled. Charlotte jumps back up. Does a couple moves on Bayley. Bayley throws her off. Hits her with a Macho Man elbow. Which, by the way, 30 years later, after that wonderful match, I do consider it one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time between Steamboat and Macho Man. Even though I wasn't alive to see it, it's still one that I've gone back and watched it, and it's really good, solid match.
Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah.
And she hit that elbow and pinned her cleanly. 1, 2, 3. No help from anybody else. That has to put an end, I feel,
to Charlotte
and Bayley.
Now, with Nia Jax being in the match, I was not happy at all when she won that spot for her against Bayley on Raw to make it a 4-way elimination match. Because how I see it, you have 3 legitimate champions/champion contenders in this match who have to dumb down their wrestling for the quarter of the match that they had to carry Nia. Because they had to make Nia look dominant. They had to dogpile on Nia to pin her just so they can try to keep her credibility up. But it dumbs down those 3 women's wrestling's abilities until she's out of the match. After she got out of the match, it then picked up and it got more exciting.
Yeah, I've thought the same thing about Nia. She's getting better. She could have used some more seasoning in NXT. They called her up way too quickly, trying to be, I felt like, the Awesome Kong of the women's division. Mm-hmm. Except she's not as talented right now as Awesome Kong. She needed to stay in NXT where she can work, develop a little bit more. Asuka's been wrestling for years. Stay under that tutelage. Stay under the, training center there. And just
it works. The training center works.
Yeah, and just, let her flourish there a little bit more before she moves up.
Yes.
So, next match was the...
No, Bayley won. Bayley's going to set up Bayley versus Sasha. Then you have Bayley versus Sasha at Payback. Woo! Okay.
Or, do we see Bayley versus Asuka?
Asuka needs... Unless they do what they did with Paige and have Asuka come up with the NXT Women's Championship.
And they could, because... I don't know where you go from there either.
Because now, NXT. Really, there's no competition in NXT. Their women's division, NXT's women's division, died down after Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky left the division.
Yep. So next is the match of the night with the surprise return of the night. The Hardys.
Delete.
Well, hold on.
Delete.
Let's go for the first. It was the Club.
The Club
versus Cesaro and Sheamus
in kilts,
who did come out in kilts. That was a pretty cool entrance. And Enzo and Cass, who kind of used the entire ring ramp 85 yards for their promo, which wasn't their best. I was expecting something better for WrestleMania. It was a typical
promo.
They have had so many better ones.
They have, but I don't think they had the time spots to do one of their long promos, so they just did their normal thing.
Right, and so...
how you doing?
Yeah. So, then you get the New Day come out, and all you're thinking...
And, the New Day's all dressed out in their ring gear and everything, and they look like they're about to come out and wrestle, and then...
Then they brought out the Hardys, and I don't know who marked out harder, us in the living room, the 3 of us, or the 70,000 there in attendance. I do love the broken gimmick, so I am hoping and praying Impact loses so we can see the broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero in WWE, because I think it plays well.
It will, because if Hall of Fame was any indication with that, or tonight, to be a fact, was any indication, the broken gimmick will work.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some... I love when they came in and pretty much dominated everybody at the start, and then each team got a chance to dominate except Enzo and Cass, which I kind of feel like maybe they're working them toward a split.
They are. I think that's going to happen. Because Cass can actually... He's actually really good on the mic. He's really good in the ring. He can do well without Enzo.
And Enzo can go into 205 Live and be high-flying and stupid all he wants to.
Right.
But the spot of the match, Jeff sets up a nice ladder.
It was actually pretty funny how it happened because, Cesaro and Sheamus gets on to the ladders that are on the barricade and on the ring, and then you see the ring and the match, action happening in the ring where you have Matt Hardy and someone from the club. Yes, from the club going at it.
It was Anderson.
And then you just see Jeff just na.
Set up a ladder like it's nothing, and then and you get Matt hitting a twist of fate off the ladder.
Anderson.
And then you see Jeff climb up to the top, and about that time hit a swanton.
Oh, an old person swanton.
Yeah, on to Sheamus and Cesaro.
Cesaro
Took the main blow of it and went through the